Hello, welcome to another series of HR Talk. Today we are very privileged to have Mrs. Melesa Chua, who is the President and CEO of CDC Holdings. It will be good for us to be able to understand from the CEO's perspective on what are the qualities that they are looking for a good employee. So, thank you, Mrs. Chua, for having the time to see us today. I'm sure our televiewers will be very much encouraged or will be inspired to find out exactly from a CEO's perspective on what are the 5 qualities of a good employee. Mrs. Chua?
Hi, Ms. Melrose. Thank you for having me here in Singapore. I think with the experience I have for the last 35 years.
Wow, 35.
35 to 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
35 is more or less because of so many stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most important for the 5 qualities I'm looking for, number 1, no matter what, it's the integrity, the honesty of a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are trustworthy, everything will come.
Definitely.
Number 2, I need a manager or staff to learn how to think out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Because being a practical person, everything, the challenges, you will resolve it by thinking of the fastest way.
Right. Kasi there are some employees kasi that especially if they have been with a company for very long,
Yeah.
they would tend to somehow say that we have been doing this for the past 20 years.
Yes.
Why change, you know?
Yes.
So this is where, they don't really find that opportunity to perhaps, maybe there is something new that we can do, and that is where the thinking outside the box is really very important for you being a CEO.
Okay. Then next is, I'm having difficulty to find people, especially in the Philippines.
Madiskarte. So what do you mean by madiskarte? How do we explain being madiskarte?
Yeah, the madiskarte is almost thinking out of the box, but it's a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Solution finder.
Yes.
The person can find easiest way to solve the day-to-day solution,
Mm-hmm.
or to deliver result
Right.
on a day-to-day basis,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever assignment. Or sometimes it's not assigned, but it just pop out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, because even though you have a system in the book, sometimes along the way in your workflow,
Mm-mm.
there's something that will pitch in.
Right.
So we want employees that can have this discarded.
Yeah.
Instead of every step of the way to ask the management, how will I solve this?
Right. I think it's also very similar. I'm not sure whether you will agree with me that it's also similar to being resourceful.
I think so.
Yeah, because if you are resourceful, this is where if there is a problem and if the solution is not available within your reach, this is where you will really find ways for you to find a solution to a particular problem. And this is where your being resourcefulness, or if you are very resourceful, you would really seek, where can I find this? Or perhaps if other colleagues or anyone in the organization is able to provide or to help find that solution that we're really looking for.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Thank you. And then the 4th one is, I like people that are very organized and time management.
Time management, yes.
Yeah, because I really hate wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
Because time is really important, although employee has to be an 8 to 5 job. Like me, I was a former employee in the bank before, but I see to it, whatever day to day, because it's already routinary.
Mm-hmm.
I make sure I have my discarte, and I make sure my time management, which is the priority and which is the least priority. At the end of the day, instead of me finishing the whole 8 hours, sometimes I can finish it in 6 hours because of my time
management. Because time management is really a skill. So if this particular employee is really able to identify what is urgent, what is important, and what are the things that can be done, like for example, in the next 2 days. Because it's very important for this particular employee that you are looking for, he understands when is the deadline.
Yes.
If you know the deadline, you know exactly how to plan your time and how to prioritize things. And of course, if I know that I have a deadline to make, I make sure that perhaps if I go for my tea break, I will not spend so much time,
To go back.
I have to go back because I have a timeline to finish. At the same time, I also wanted to go at exactly 6, for example. So that is where time management is
As
really
well,
very important.
Because companies has set its goals.
Mm.
So we need people who are like that so that we can have our goal setting and deliver it according timely report or
Yes.
timely delivered. This is more important.
Kasi for every delay, there is a cost involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is why time management is really very important. Yes.
Okay. And then the fifth one, I think it's more of I like result driven.
Okay.
Result driven means to say they can deliver whatever task is given according to your time. So, and also they should be conscious about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I need to do, and this is what I need to deliver, or this is what I need to perform.
Right. Because if you have someone who is very results driven, he is not distracted. He is so focused. These are the typical qualities of that person who is very results driven. Because if you are results driven, you know, for instance, that at the end of the month, I have to deliver this. If particularly for sales, they have a certain revenue that they have to produce on a certain month. So as a results driven person,
Not only that, even in the operation.
oh yes, correct.
Yeah, they can do whatever what is the pre-approved budget.
Mm-mm.
So if you are result driven, you will focus that I can deliver how I can save money.
Right. Because it entails a lot of cost savings as well if you are a results driven person. So you know exactly how to maximize the resources that you have.
Correct.
So because we have certain budget that was given to us, being in operations, is that it doesn't mean that we have to spend all of them. So if there would be ways that you can, you can use in order for you to save a bit, then it's really very good.
Yes.
Because
So
at the end of the day, it still goes back to the
bottom
employees,
line.
the bottom line. It will still go back to them as part of their reward or incentives.
Yes.
If the company is doing very well, at the end of the day,
It goes back to them.
goes back to them.
Yes.
So I guess it's something that, as for those aspiring employees, or if you are currently working, it's good for you to really look out for these 5 qualities. And if you really wanted to move up to the next level of your career, it's really important for you to take note that integrity, honesty is really very important because
That's number one.
that's number one. So if you are not honest, then I mean,
Who will believe in you?
correct. So as a management, I will not trust you. I would rather give this particular project, for example, to the person that I trust very well. And then of course, if it's results driven, as mentioned earlier, is one of the qualities then.
And
Tapos
you can
yung-
think out of the box.
Right.
All day-to-day operation.
Yeah, not just being creative. Yes, you might
You
be
can
creative
and innovative.
and innovative. So that is also an added, trait for you to be a very good employee, or to be seen or to be heard by management.
Yes.
Yeah. So if
You
you
don't have to announce. People can see.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and of course time management then, So if you really want to have work-life balance as what everybody wants in life, to be able to go home early and spend time with family, or perhaps if you're
To
single,
balance your life.
to balance your life. So all the more for your 8 to 5 kind of a job, you should know exactly what are the things that you have to prioritize, because you have to focus on the most important task for the day.
Then at the end of the day, you can be a result-driven person.
Exactly. Because if everything is always delayed, then this is where there would really be a problem along the way. Yeah, of course, we are hearing it directly from a CEO herself. So I believe that you are able to get something today, this particular tips, and I'm sure and I believe that you will be able to keep this in mind, and hopefully you enjoyed the session that we have today. Thank you very much,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Chua. I
Wow,
really
so
appreciate
nice to
your
see you
time.
again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.